Guys, I just recorded this whole video and I did not have audio on the whole thing, which is rather disappointing. So, I guess we'll go ahead and re-record this video. So welcome to Lawpedic, and thank you for joining it. I'm starting a new series called Legally Curious, and that's me. I am legally curious about a lot of different topics that affect me that I didn't really have a lot of information about. To preface this, I am not an attorney. I am not giving any kind of advice. I am just a guy that's interested in understanding the laws that affect me. And okay, running from the police doesn't affect me because I have no desire and or plan to run from the police, but it might affect somebody, and you guys might be interested in this topic. So let's dive deep into it. And I haven't posted in a month, so I just wanted to get something out. I just wanted to start this train running a little bit more. So I'm just going to read the article I wrote from our website, which you can check in the description below. And I just wanted to get ahead of it. So we're just going to work on the article, and we're just going to work through all of it. And today's topic is going to be, is it illegal to run from the police? And as you know, yes, it is illegal to run from the police. If an officer is like, hey, I'm stopping you, or if you're driving and there's a cop behind you with his lights on, it's not good to run away from that. And it's not good just to speed off. And below in this video, I'm going to give you the consequences. I'm also going to give you some potential defenses that I have found if you've been pulled over for attempting or failing to elude. So let's get started on here. So what is fleeing or attempting to elude? Basically, fleeing or attempting to elude is when a person tries to intentionally get away from the police, whether they don't want to be pulled over, whether they have a criminal past, whether they have a warrant, they just don't want to be caught by the police. And then that's where that falls into that category. And I'm going to go into this in the Kansas statute, given I'm in Kansas, and it applies a little bit more to me. Your state law might be different, so just take that into account. In Kansas, you get attempting or failing to elude when you... I'll just go ahead and read their subsection for you guys so that you get the whole thing. Any driver of a motor vehicle who knowingly fails or refuses to bring their vehicle... Sorry, I'm getting readjusted here. Let me fix this. Who fails or refuses to bring their vehicle to a stop for a pursuing police vehicle or bicycle when given a visual or audible signal to bring the vehicle to a stop shall be guilty of fleeing or attempting to elude. And if you're trying to elude for a felony, you shall be guilty as well. So under subsection B, if you try to ditch, so let me explain this. If you're being chased and you try to run a police roadblock, or you try to go around police tire strips, or you hit another car, or you steal a car, or you're running because you have a felony, all those different things are going to make you have a lot harsher punishments compared to if you're just like, oh, hey, I didn't know I needed to stop, or hey, I drove a couple extra miles to find a safe place to stop. All those things are going to jump into the severities, and I'm going to put them down here in just a second. So the penalties for this is if you go past roadblocks, go past tire strips, hit a car, steal a car, drive in the other lane, drive recklessly, all those things, you're going to fall into these two categories, which is a level 9-person felony and a level 7-person felony in the state of Kansas, which is 11 to 34 and 5 to 17 months. I will not be doing that, and I do not enjoy that sentence. Oh, my apologies. Yeah, so if you've been caught once, actually, if you don't have any prior convictions, you get a Class A misdemeanor, which carries a maximum sentence of 1 year in jail or $2,500. If you have 2 or more, I believe, you get a 6 months... Oh, I put those backwards. My apologies. This is if you've had 2 or more convictions for this, and this is if you've had 1 or less. So how do you know if you're being pulled over? It's pretty simple, unless it's in an unmarked car at like midnight and you're like, I only see lights, I don't see any decals. It's usually if a police bike is like, hey, hey, or an officer showing you his bag and he's like, stop the car, or you're driving down the road and there's a cop behind you and they're putting their signals, their emergency lights on, or sirens. Those are some pretty good ways to know that you're being pulled over or an officer is trying to get your attention to stop. Like I said, It's a little difficult when they don't have markings, because sometimes I saw a person pulled over with a Dodge Charger and I was like, I wouldn't know if that person was an actual police officer because he wasn't marked. He was just in a Charger with some blue lights on the front of his car and the back. So that makes it a little bit more difficult, and that's kind of what can help your possible defenses that we're about to jump into. So some possible defenses are lack of knowledge. I'm sorry, officer. I did not know that you were pulling me over. I assumed that you were a civilian car with emergency lights, and I did not realize you were a police vehicle. You didn't try to intentionally. Actually, that's the next one. I won't preface that. So that is a defense, and all these defenses you should speak with your attorney, and they'll be able to decide, hey, like these work, these don't work. Let me understand your case. You have the lack of intent. I wasn't trying to drag you on, trying to lead you. Basically, it wasn't safe here, and I wanted to park somewhere safe for the both of us. So I drove 5 more blocks to an empty parking spot. I didn't have the intention of running away from you. I wanted for your safety. Wow, I should be a lawyer. That sounded good. And the next one is duress or necessity. So basically, your wife's having a baby. You gotta get to the emergency room or this baby is gonna pop out. Gotta get going. Cop behind you, I'm sorry. That's actually my father. I don't know how true it is. My father says that he got pulled over when I was being born, and basically the cop escorted him to, this is the 90s. I'm only 26. But he escorted us to the hospital. Like, that's a reason to be like, hey, I can't stop, or hey, I'm speeding for this cause. Not that it's valid. Do whatever is the safest and what's going to help your family. Mistaken identity. Say someone robs a bank and they drive around in a Kia. So a blue Kia. There's a lot of blue Kias. You could be driving a blue Kia and you didn't rob a bank. But a cop tries to stop you. And you're like, I don't have any reason to have this cop stopping me, so I'm not going to stop. Would probably still stop just to get it checked out, but that could be one. So when should you contact an attorney? You should contact an attorney if you have a pending attempting or eluding charge, because you're in some hot pickles. They can figure out any of these defenses, figure out your case, the body cam footage if the officers or department has some, all those different things. You should definitely consult with an attorney, and I would very much recommend that. But like I said, it is illegal to run from the police. That is the gist of this video. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I am excited for this series. I'm excited to get going on this series. I can't promise the frequency, but I can promise there will be more videos, and I will work to start getting better on the publishing process of that. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you're ahead of that. I think we have 1 now, which is kind of exciting. But you guys have a wonderful day and stay legally curious.